Hello and welcome to Tarot Thursday. I'm your host, Reverend Mary Hawk, and with me is Ed the Pagan. Thank you for joining me tonight, Ed.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure to have you with me.
Hmm.
And as always, our format is if you have a question, please post it in chat and we will do a 3 card, more or less, reading for you. And we've already got our first question from Magic 51, who has actually a follow up question from last week. Who wants to know who should they be careful talking to about their remote viewing practices. And hello to Reverend Don. And I will go ahead and mention we will not be doing Tarot Thursday next week on December 25th. But please join Reverend Don and I on January the 1st for a special New Year's Day edition of Tarot Thursday, where we'll be doing readings for your what's coming up for you in the new year. And as far as Magic 51, let's see, who should you be careful talking to about your remote viewing practices? Everyone, basically.
Well,
So, well, as far as cards that would reasonably represent people, I have got the Queen of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles, or I'm sorry, the Prince of Cups. I have also got the Ten of Pentacles. So the Prince of Cups, as far as representing a person, would represent a young a young man who is creative and artistic. The Queen of Wands representing an older woman who is rather passionate. They can also represent these types of people. The Ten of Pentacles representing being in a good position due to hard work and careful planning. And taking all together, I would say just when you are doing your remote viewing, one, be careful about it, and two, I would not talk about it to people who don't understand it, number one. And I would be careful revealing what you find to anyone who is likely to reveal that information to someone who's going to talk about it a lot. Because both those types of people are likely to talk a lot. Is what I'm seeing. So
so the
I'll turn
question is
it
about
over
his
to Ed.
remote viewing. And last week you talked to him, and then they wanted to know more about who they should be talking to about remote viewing. So this is the mystical tarot, derivative off of some of the older systems. Um, Mid-heaven native, the Aeon. You're already being watched, dude. Once you started remote viewing, other remote viewers are seeing you. So you're already at the changing point. There's nobody you can talk to. What you're really asking the question is, Ace of Swords, who should you be wary of? And that's everybody. In fact, the more they don't know about this, the more you should be worried about it. Last but not least, Midheaven Nadir, the Aeon, which means you're being watched, and then the Lord of perfected work. You better get on your remote viewing because you're about to be, you're involved. I mean, we're about to get into a pretty dedicated psychic battle in 2026. I mean, we were seeing that, and you're already being watched. So it's not a matter of who you want to talk to. You better figure out how you're going to communicate. That's the real question. And Mary talked about it. I mean, this that she has a lot of what she said is there. But as far as being watched, you're already there, dude.
All right. And hello to Reverend Michael and Swack and Marie. And Marie would like a general reading.
We have to get you one of those little card shufflers. Like a Las Vegas thing. So you put your deck back in every time.
The
That'd be kind of cool.
problem is I have relatively small hands.
That's what I'm saying. A card shuffler.
Card shuffler. I have thought about getting one. I kid Don about he designed this deck for his hands, not mine.
Fair enough.
His hands are roughly twice the size of mine.
That makes some sense.
And Magic 51 says, did I hear you say I already lost, Ed? Lost on what?
You already lost about not being seen. Dude, they see you. Everybody sees you. You can't hide this thing. Hmm? Asking who should you be literally talking to, the real question is, what do you want to do next?
Okay. Excuse me. Now for Marie. So the first card I've got for you is the Soul. So here we see the goddess portrayed as the mother with her young child. And this card means that in your current situation, you have lessons to be learned. And you're going to keep repeating this situation until you learn those lessons, whatever they are. And we have justice. So there is some sort of decision that's going to be made about you, and it's going to be favorable. And you've been worried about it. And we've got the Nine of Lamps. And when this card comes up, you've been overthinking and trying to control a situation too much. Just step back and let things unfold. So I hope that's helpful.
I think that's very helpful. I do think that's very helpful. I think that's very clear advice.
Okay.
I don't say that I could add more to that. I mean, that's solid.
All right. Hey, Janet, good to see you. Okay, and Swat Fan has asked for a general reading for the year ahead. All righty. Let me get my card shuffled here. I haven't gotten my automatic shuffler ordered from Vegas yet. All right, so the first card I've got for you is the Six of Cups. And this is about relationships. And a lot of times it means you're going to reconnect with someone from your past. It could be a friend, it could be a former lover. Also got the Sun. Now, this is a card of good fortune. So you can look for good things happening for you in the new year. And I've got the Lovers, and this is about choices. So you're going to have to make a decision in the new year. Probably between equally good choices, but you are going to have to pick one. So I hope that is helpful.
I'll pick one card because I think what you're saying only can be reinforced.
All righty.
And this is the Chariot. Not only have to make a choice, but if the choice is towards travel, choose travel.
Okay. Travel is good.
Mm-hmm.
And hello to Anissa, who wants to know, will Social Security approve me?
Are you just now making the application this year under these rules? The first answer is no. They're not going to accept you. They're accepting no one this first round. You're going to have to go and file an appeal no matter what happens, right? Unless you get very, very lucky.
I was going to tell you, my brother got denied the first time with his heart and kidneys both functioning at less than 20%. He had to
Mm-hmm.
get an attorney and fight.
So I would start looking for your attorney just in case. I mean, that's just plain practical advice. Reverend Don does not have disability. They turned him down. They turned him down twice. Hmm?
So, yeah, my brother had to fight to get it after having what would have been a heart attack, except that his wife saw what was happening and got him to the emergency room in time, and it still left him severely damaged for the rest of his life. So, yeah. You're going to have to fight to get it, whatever is going on with you.
Wow, I picked a card just, because I said this. Lord of Valor. The discs. Dragon slaying card. You're going to have to slay the dragon. I mean, can you get it? Sure. Absolutely. But it's a departure from Lord of Valor. I mean, you're going to have to fight for it.
So, I pulled the Queen of Swords. My card. So the Queen of Swords counsel is to look as what has worked in previous situation and what didn't work. So if you hadn't gotten a lawyer yet, get one. Swords can represent conflict. They represent careful communication. So I'm going to say communicate carefully, save every piece of paper about it, keep all written documents, any emails you may send about it. You can get it. It's not going to come easy because it never does. But I wish you all the best with it. that I have never heard of anybody getting it without a fight, no matter what their situation was.
Sorry to be so grim about that,
But
but
that is,
and see, there's one thing I don't like about some readers. It would have been very easy for us both to say, "Of course you will." I mean, of course we could say that. Just do cards, say, "Of course you will." And then when you came back to us, well, I didn't get it the first time. Oh, we didn't say it was. We could have said it'll be a struggle. I mean, there's a lot of cold reading methods that could have answered that question. We chose to answer it honestly. We actually have quite a bit of experience in this area.
yeah,
I mean, so that's a big thing when you get readers, especially this time of year, holiday. So let me tell you, when I used to work holiday parties, I used to do a lot of readings. And one of the things I would do is always upbeat at this time. Oh, somebody's talking about me. Japanese tradition. But
no,
huh?
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. Janet would like a reading for the year ahead.
Okay.
And then Michael
January
wants a
1st, so Don and Mary are going to be just that show. Hmm?
yeah. So come back January the 1st, and Reverend Don and I are going to be focusing on readings for the year ahead. I'll go ahead and pull a few cards for you.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael says, Mary needs a card shuffler for Yule. Yes, I do. One that will handle outsized decks.
Where should people send tips for you?
You can send tips for me to PayPal at Maryhawk 1968. All right, so I will throw that up as a caption in a minute.
I got it.
So, first thing I've got for you, Janet, is the Seven of Swords. So, things are not necessarily going to be easy for you, but if you focus and work at it, you can prevail. I have also got Heart. So while this shows lovers, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going a love affair, but it does mean you're going to be involved in a situation that is just deep in your emotions. So you will just have to take that, you know, as it is and work through it, but you're definitely going to be in your emotions in 2026. And playing off that, we have the Five of Lamps, which means you're going to have to take a step back from your circumstances a bit to fully understand them. So I think those two cards are going to go hand in hand. When you are really deep in your emotions, you are going to have to step back from the situation and get a little bit of metaphorical distance to be able to see it clearly.
Okay, I'll do it real quick. First thing about the new year, Lord of
Yes.
Abundance, Three of Cups. Focus on your relationships. They're your path to abundance. People you know It's not people you don't know, but people you know that's going to be a key to that. Princess of the Rushing Water, Princess of Swords. Take up sword yoga. No, I'm just saying I'm fascinated by sword yoga right now. They started advertising, and I think it's beautiful. But in truth, be willing to use your sword. It isn't just about emotions. It also is about what you will defend to yourself. And what are you defending yourself from? Princess said Dex. It means you're thinking of not being worth it. Period. You're going to be only worth what you think you're worth next year. Period. That's it. What are you worth? That's a real question for you. Let me say something else.
So I hope that is helpful, Janet. And Reverend Michael wants to know if wants a general reading. All righty. So I got 2 pentacles and a wand. So we're going to take the pentacles together. We got the 8 of Pentacles, which is talking about being recognized for the work you do, and the 4 of Pentacles, which is about having enough for your own needs and being able, to share with others. And then we've got the Prince of Wands. And the Prince of Wands is about having a lot of unfocused energy around a situation. And when that happens, you need to bring a lot more energy to bear on that situation. So I hope that is helpful for you.
Again, we get Aeon. You're being watched. You're being seen. The Aeon means the age. Your time is now to be watched. What you're doing is important. You're being watched. Oh, Lord of the Thrones of Air, Queen of Swords. As you speak, so are you being seen. People are not only are you being watched, but you're being judged by your action. And right now, that's going to become intense this next year. Oof. And the Ace of Swords, you're going to have to fight. One of the things underneath it is the Lord of Oppression, which means you got jealous people around you. Not only are you trying to get yourself name out there, but you got to be realizing you're being undermined by at least one or more jealous people around you because of your capability. So you need to keep yourself very, very tight this year. Be careful.
All right. And that gets us caught up.
So I've got an interesting piece of video to play. It's just about a minute and a half. And
Okay.
and it's about tarot. It's about the idea of charging for tarot versus not charging for tarot. And I thought it was pretty interesting.
All right.
Let me go ahead and share that. All right.
Do you know why fortune telling always costs money? Because every time you read someone's destiny, you touch their karma. When you stay silent, they simply follow their own path. But once you speak, you tie your fate with theirs. If their life flows smoothly, there's no problem. But if you reveal hardship and they ask you to fix it, then part of their burden shifts onto you. That's why payment isn't just a fee, it's how we balance the energy. It restores harmony, so neither side takes a loss. That's also why in daily life, you shouldn't give free advice or interfere in others' choices, because stepping into someone else's karma blindly can drain your own blessings. Each person must live within their own fate. Sometimes, not interfering is the highest form of compassion. And no matter if money is exchanged or not, what truly matters is sincerity and respect, both from the one who gives and the one who receives. Do you know why fortune telling always costs money? Because every time you read someone's destiny,
Very
That's it.
interesting.
And that's it. What do you think?
That is an interesting take.
I thought it was interesting because we talk about it a lot. And I thought this was a very interesting and different take. And almost from a person that at least appears to be Buddhist or Eastern,
Right.
and about why we do it. I mean, so as we give away these free readings, we should be receiving a little bit of respect and things like that.
Right.
But we risk our karma.
Hmm.
Hmm? That's what he's saying is that by doing free readings, we're interfering with people. What do you think? Tell us.
Yeah. But what you think in the comments?
And of course, you can always send tips to PayPal, MaryHawk68 at Gmail.
1968.
Oh, let me get that right. That was wrong.
Oh, I fixed it.
Did you? It's not on the
Yes.
caption. Okay, we have to put it back.
Oh, I fixed it on the caption.
No, okay, there it is. All right. There you go. No, I think a lot of I think tarot card reading is going to change. Tarot is going to change more in 2026 than it has in the last 10 years. And in the last 10 years, it's changed more than it has in the last 100 years. I think we're coming rapidly. I think AI readers, I've been working on one. I wish we could get further, but I saw it yesterday, an AI astrologist that you can sign up, pay money to, and they'll give you a daily horoscope, personalized to you. And they're AI, based on your style of reading. They're selling this service. Jason Hikerel has been working on a tarot program for a while, so we have that out there. I think one of the things I think people don't understand. So I think readers are going to have to start really upping their game because
Right.
I think AI is going to come in on them. I know it is. I mean, I'm not thinking it will be by the end of this time next year. There'll be AI readers. I mean, really good AI readers, not just pretend. What do you think? Does it have to be a human being? Is it important? I mean, I remember when people used to say you can't do a reading over a phone. Before Miss Cleo and a lot of the 900 lines, very few people actually did readings over the phone. You need to be in contact with them, be there. I ran a co-sharing office because of that. The 900 lines of telephone took us out. Every time you bet against technology, you lose.
Right.
I mean, a lot of people do Zoom readings now. You know, that was once unthinkable.
Right. I had to kick someone out of my comments because they were ranting about I can't do readings over the internet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, so we've always faced this sort of thing. So they're saying AIs can't do readings. Well, you want to know something? AIs can do readings. Can they interpret them? Somewhat. I mean, there's a lot of techniques out there to do that. It's called cold reading.
Right.
And who knows where they're getting their inspiration from? The quantum field. So I think 2026 is going to be a tremendous change for the metaphysical community, by the pagan community, the tarot community, the magic community. I think they're going to be pressed by technology in a way because it's so favorable. The income is so favorable. I mean, how much would you pay for a daily reading from an AI? How much would you pay for your astrology to you? Oh, I'm terrorized about next year too. Don't get me wrong. I'm agitated today because right before I came on the air, I was dealing with another kind of weird situation emerging. And so,
I don't think I would pay for a daily AI astrology.
was that? You wouldn't? Do you know most astrology is computer generated now?
I know it is. I'm turning it over in my head. Would it
Hmm.
be of value or not?
What? I'll tell people that when you see $65 readings for $29.99, some of this other stuff, it is computer software. It's been used for more than 20 years, and they've
I
improved it.
know,
And so, what's the
I
difference
know.
between automating that?
Most astrology is computer generated. I know.
Hmm. It's too complicated otherwise.
It is, except when you go and talk to an astrologer, you're talking to them for their experience.
And the interpretation of the computerized information, plus their
Yeah,
own
you're
experience.
talking to them for their experience in interpreting the computerized information.
So the question next year comes: how valuable is the astrologer? How valuable is a human tarot reader? Even
Yeah,
when
I
you have
was
all of
gonna
these
say a
certifications.
human tarot reader is more valuable than AI.
Okay. Well, with the deep fakes and some of the other stuff, why could not that tarot reader be you in the AI? Based on your readings and based on your style. Some people will do it. I know a coach right now, a world class coach, that has built an
Of
AI to
course
answer
you
for him.
can, Aisha.
What's that? Oh,
Aisha wants to know if they can ask a question. Yes, you can.
mhm.
Does Ahmad have emotional feelings for me? Okay, let's see what we get here. All right. So, well, I've got the Eight of Wands, which indicates a situation moving quickly. I've got the Princess of Wands, which indicates that you are holding yourself back somewhere. How? I've got the Hermit, which says, you know what you want in this situation, and you don't need to listen to other people. And I just drew the Three of Swords, which means a situation that's going to end in conflict. So I am not seeing love in this situation. I'm sorry, Aisha. I am not.
All right. All right. So I will do mine. Pulling Lord of Interference. Not only is there not love, there's actually active efforts not to. You're seen as an interference in their life by others around them. And Mary kind of mentioned, don't worry about what other people think. Go for what you want. But there is a lot of interference around you. And what? Hit my board. And what is it about? Lord of Pleasure. If you're looking for pleasure, perfect. It's a perfect relation for pleasure. Right? Yep. Lots and lots of pleasure. But anything more than that, let's see. Lust for life. You really don't. They do not want you to have a life separate of them. Once you got involved, maybe I'm wrong, but they want to take away your lust for life. They want you to be controlled. Once they get a hold of you, it's not love, it's control. That's your real issue, which is dangerous. I not only double on Mary's line, I'm saying this is a dangerous, potentially dangerous relationship.
Okay. And does anyone else have a question for us?
Crickets.
And AI is tarot readers. I'll think about that one a bit.
Now, in The God of Tarot by Piers Anthony, great science fiction writer, he oftentimes had a computer, the readers using a computer. They moved the cards in around and did readings on the computer that were three-dimensional. So I've always thought that was an interesting idea. And they would use the computer to help them draw cards in situations. And now the idea of that predictability was then enhanced by the computer. So are we going to see AI augmented readers? Oh, I expect that, So you're not going to, no tarot reader is going to lose their job because of AI. They're going to lose their job to a tarot reader who uses AI. There you go. I really do believe that. The readers that get involved with AI and start generating decks for themselves or personalized cards. I mean, with the art creation of a tarot deck, you can make an electronic deck specialized with the right programming, because the amount of money they pay compared to AI, they can have a deck made to you can make a deck for them personally.
You could.
You know what I'm saying? There's so much artistic expression that is going to be possible. I don't know. I think 2026 is going to change the way we see the world.
Well, I'm going to argue with that.
What's that?
Just AI is going to have to improve, because the last time I tried to make an advertising graphic with AI, it took me forever to get one graphic the way I wanted it to be.
So I think a lot of people are making a major mistake when they think that AI can perfect something. It's a first draft artist. It is where you should be using it as your assistant, not as your boss.
So,
So you take that piece, put it in Photoshop, you put it in Canva, you put it into, you know, anything you want to, then you fix it. Hmm? That saved you hours. So many people are trying to use it as a last end fix, trying to bring it to the last mile. They don't realize it's not a boss. It's not a human being. It doesn't have any emotion. It doesn't have any feeling. And so sometimes if you want to get the feeling, and some of the great meme writers and some of that, then you take it, throw it into your own Photoshop, your own Canva, and fix it. Or you become better at prompting, which is the magical spell that makes it all work. I talk about prompting a lot. You tell it what to do. Like everybody writes, "Oh, I want you to be a world-class tarot reader." What does that mean? The computer has no way of knowing because that's subjective.
right.
I want to be a tarot reader like Mary Greer, who's a famous tarot reader all over the internet, who's talking about AI. I want to be a tarot reader that knows this. I want to be a tarot reader. I want you to be a tarot reader that knows magic and what types of magic. I want you to be a tarot reader who's read 1,000 books. She'd be more graphic. He says, I want you to be an artist like so and so. I mean, yeah. So many people just say, make me a meme. And they don't treat it as a system. I think that's one of the biggest things I see. Because you can tell, because the default color of AI, and you can tell if any piece is AI, is that awful brown.
It is.
And that's the default. It is the natural default. I found that out early. So you don't tell it, I want a green background, a black background, a red rainbow background. It's going to go to default more likely than not. First to that brown, taupe brown, I guess it's called, or sort of a off green is the other one. And that's how you can always tell if it comes in those colors, it was made by AI. Well, we're losing audience at this point because they're not asking questions and we're kind of just chatting on.
Okay, does anyone else have another tarot question for us?
Or any question at all. We can answer anything. Well, next year I'm going back on January 1st. Divination Thursday, we'll be answering questions with Reverend Mary and Lord Don. But
Yes.
starting on January 1st, my OG show finally going to be going back on the air called The Ed the Pagan Show.
Wonderful.
It's going to be a near daily show or a daily show. Spotify's picking it up, iHeartRadio. We're going to be broadcasting across the systems. We're in discussion with a few pagans to make it on Roku and other places. If you want commercials, talk to me now. Start putting them together. And we're going to go for something very unique. Because after all, if there's any broadcaster out there that's kind of OG, people have been pointing out it's me and Don and you. Mary, you've been doing it for a while, this project. And, I've been doing video projects and audio projects and radio for now 33 years.
How long? Janet asked, how long should you keep a tarot deck? As long as you want to.
Not only should you be keeping your tarot decks for as long as you want to, they're generational wealth. Mm-hmm. I get tarot decks from just 30 years ago, 20 years ago, and I've sold them for a great deal of money. Some tarot decks are worth $1,500. The longer the tarot deck is stored, the more it's going to become valuable. Maybe by only a few cents, right? I'll buy a tarot deck today, $5, not even a question. If someone brings me in tarot decks, I'll buy them for $5 a deck. Some decks, like Rider Waite, you can't sell for very much, but tarot decks, some of the good ones, some of the rare ones, some of the Kickstarter ones, like the Alley deck, which was made a couple of years ago, 138 cards, each kind of unique. Those are going for hundreds of dollars now. We have on eBay, um, at Gaia Thrift, eBay, Gaia's Dash Thrift, we actually have an unopened original tester of the Tarot of Hecate with the old Tarot of Hecate symbol, still sealed in the box. We want $100 for it. And that's a bargain. So how long should you keep your tarot deck? Into the hands of your grandchildren and great grandchildren, or until you need the cash. How's that for an answer?
That's a good answer.
Mm-hmm. And Mary, you've bought a number of the decks that I've resold.
I have.
And other people have too. So I'm talking from actual practice. I'm not just making this up. I've sold decks all over the board. I've sold them for as much as $300. I sold a bunch of them for $10. I sold them for $20. They never lose total value, especially if you keep them intact. And today, even people are buying individual cards to help replace their own or adding to the alley deck system. I'm going to tell you this is the same is going to be true for your occult books, especially first editions. I'll talk about, you ever heard of a term called American folk art, Mary? American folk art was 1800s, early 1900s art that was made by the common person. And it was considered, you saw it at county fairs, you saw it at other places. Well, I think that in a lot of ways, pagan art, especially some of the early Don Waterhawk and Abby Willerud and Rihanna Marie wands are all going to become more valuable. I think your books are going to become more valuable. But American folk art, pagan folk art that we've been putting out, even now, all this handcrafted art, in just 50 years into the next generation, it's going to be worth a small fortune. I guarantee some of these pieces by Don Waterhawk, Renee Marie, some of the paintings that are being done are going to be worth hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in a few decades. As the community grows, so does the value of things go up because they're original and they're fewer. Original Bucklands. I sold an original, and I'm so sorry I sold it now, an original Candle Magic by Buckland, first edition. I got $155 for it, and it was in only fair condition. So these things are going. So the occult world right now, the metaphysical world, is really in their own space. They're about to see their items become more and more valuable. A set of Alyssa Crowley's Equinox set. Alan Salmi just sold on eBay for $1,326. If you have one of those sets, you'd be surprised. A Sybil Leak, some of the Sybil Leak early paperbacks, $20, $30, $40 a piece. Tarot decks, jewelry. Jewelry is the least likely event, unless it's like precious. I don't care about your jewelry. And crystals, I don't really care about your crystals. Your top-notch crystals, just like top-notch diamonds, top-notch crystals will go on and have value. But the vast majority of crystals won't. And if the people try to say, oh, they're so valuable, they don't have a long-term value. They just don't. They will always be somewhat valuable, but it's only the real finest, like library pieces where you see a crystal inside a crystal. Those are going to be. But crystal is going to go up in cost because next year, it's already because of the tariffs and some other reasons, that the Brazilian government, in part of its environmental system, are shutting down a tremendous number. Go in February this year to Tucson, Arizona, because you won't see it. More than 100 mines in Brazil are being shut down for environmental reasons. The cost of the crystal, the cost of the ancestors, the cost of those stones no longer is worth the environmental damage they're doing. Yes, your stones do environmental damage. So we'll see some price pressure. So yeah, if you really want to make an investment over the long term, books, tarot cards, crystals a little bit, especially top notch. Art, real art, paintings of the sword, anything that is actually expression of this early paganism, is either we're going to be wiped out by the dominionists, and therefore this will all be underground art, which always has value, or we're going to grow. And as we grow, our children and our grandchildren are going to want these items too, because that means something. I mean, this deck is over 25 years old. This is the deck I've always used. I got some others. So there you go. Yes, it's worth keeping tarot decks. It's worth keeping books, especially for
Yes.
citizens. It's worth keeping the art. And if you don't want to keep it, don't throw it away. Either sell it to recover some of your money or put it in the hands of people who want to keep it. What drives up collectibles is families destroying it all, tossing it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you die without having a will and giving it away. I've seen it already. Either your pagan family divides it and keeps it, or your Christian or non-secular or secular families just get rid of it. Gaia Thrift on eBay. We're going to come back and I'll teach more about it. Do you know what it's also selling out there? Old magazines. You know, like Harvest Magazine. If you had any of the old pagan magazines, Don had a tremendous collection of them. We ended up losing part of it in our move out of Salem. But like Harvest Magazine, any of these sort of zines from years ago, those are worth money. Don't toss them out. Circle Magazine. I sold a New Witch. So a New Witch with Phyllis Crott. Not Phyllis Crott. I forget her name off the top of my head. She was part of Mad Mad World. Fiona Horn. I sold a copy of New Witch with her on the cover on it for $27 plus shipping. Think about it. Even your magazines have value. So if you're really wanting to look at where your value is, start treating your investment in the community, in your items, as valuable. If you have to replace it, you have to spend money. But more importantly, what's it worth, especially when we lose this? We're talking about so much that may be lost here soon. It's worth something. If you had a number one green egg, which if you know what it looks like, I guarantee you could probably sell it for $100 easy, possibly even $1,000 to the right person. And what did it look like? A double-sided sheet of paper, mimeographed. That's how rare it is. And then you have unique cards that are going to be out there. The Tarot of Hecate, which Mary uses, also has a number of cards. It has a number of unique cards. So there are only like 100 of them or 200 of them. And that's those specialty cards. I mean, you have the Queen of Swords.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a deck of cards with a Queen of Swords, imagine that. See what I'm saying? There's a lot of value. People don't realize if we're growing the speed in which everybody's talking about, that means in 10 to 20 years, nostalgia is going to hit in, like Star Wars, like Star Trek. And as we continue having festivals and more conventions indoors, so will the collectible aspect of the metaphysical world. If you had a deck full of old decks and you took it to Comic-Con, they'd all sell out. Most likely. Especially if you have like the Marvel ones. What is it? The original superhero tarot, the original one, where there's only like 5,000 were printed. They're still out there. Fandango is one thing about. There's only 5,000. Those have been going up steadily. I remember when I bought them for $10 a piece. I remember when I bought them $25 a piece. Mm-hmm. And now, if you try to get one, they're about $55, $60. Yeah. So in the new year, I plan on the show, as a pagan show, I plan to do appraisals If you got something, send me the information. I plan to do appraisals. I plan to do a lot of cultural things. So I expect you. Mary, you already interviewed Mary for part of my show about your pagan path, and I'll be running those. And I want to know more about tarot. I think tarot's got a lot of value, and there's a lot of people there. But even if you have a broken deck, that's okay. That's value. Don't throw it away. People are turning them into art. Hmm? So in
Yes,
that
they.
aspect, hmm?
I had said yes, they are. I've seen some beautiful collages.
Yeah. So don't. So I guess my last message, and hand it over to Mary, is make your art, save your items, preserve what you want, get rid of everything else to other people who want it, but never ever think that this path isn't valuable. And recognize, like those toys that your mother threw away as a kid, what you own today will be valuable in a decade or two. And if you're impatient, so what? Sell them today. Sell them for half retail. I don't care. There's no tarot deck that has no value. And with that, I'll hand it over to Marion. Thank you for having me today.
And thank you for joining me, Ed. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. This is Tarot Thursday. No Tarot Thursday next week on the 25th. But do join me and Reverend Dawn on January the 1st for our special New Year's Day edition, where we will be focusing on doing readings for the new year. So, blessed solstice to everyone, and blessed